What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Very exciting day today. We've got Last Epoch has finally launched at 1.0. This is a game I've spent about 100 hours playing a few years ago now, so very excited to check it back out now that it's launched. I did play a few hours last week. There was some nice polish to the game and I'm hoping there's a lot more. So this is going to be just a let's play. We're going to take it pretty chill, do it solo, and I'm going to try and play the Sorcerer because this is someone who I haven't played very much of in the kind of beta testing stage. Filthy Sork, let's go. We are going to do a... let's do normal. I don't think we'll keep it solo self-found because we might want to use items on the other characters later, so let's just go for it. Like Last Epoch, Last Epoch is like PoE, we have to play through the campaign, so let's enjoy it.
Only the terror, myself, and the void. I was content with nothing. She dreamt of light, of life, of humanity. We disagreed, and yet, in her world, there were gods. Majasa of the desert, Lagon of the sea, Rye of the endless skies, and Hierot of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Terra away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rye who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame. Caught within Rye's gaze were the Keepers, an order sworn to protect Eterra's memory and the power it still holds. They were joined by someone unexpected, a traveler, willing to walk into the flames of war. But why? Was it honor they sought? Power? Redemption? Or was this fate? Perhaps. But no story is quite that simple.
Hey, cool cinematic, interesting. I don't recall seeing that at the start of the game when I played it a few years ago. But yeah, like PoE, unlike Diablo 4, unlike Diablo 3, I think we're going to have to play through the campaign every single time that we make a character. Now, I've got no idea what the servers are going to be like. The game launched yesterday evening for me in the UK. I was out watching Liverpool batter Luton 4-1, so I've missed it. Look at this dude, he's naked and he's... Oh no, he's not naked anymore. He was wearing his sweatpants then. Right, we're going to have to do key bindings. Tell you what, I think we probably... we might run out of mana, so let's leave the electricity juice on A. But there's a nice range of enemies in this game, which is good. Got some fire spider things. There's a lot of like voidy, demony type things. One thing I have found playing through it over the last few days, just for a few hours here and there, it's quite easy to find your way around.
Traveler, our Heoborian allies informed us that you will attend the peace talks. Raya's war has reached our lands, and we are in need of aid. As keepers, we avoid conflict. We're dedicated to the goddess Eterra's memory. That is, until Raya forced our hand. He wishes to destroy us and steal Eterra's legacy. We can't let that happen. We need Heorot's help. Your help.
Raya equals bad guy. Gotcha. So yeah, cool enemies to come up against initially. Armored Phoenix looks pretty cool. Pretty difficult to beat. I do like the way we get like life regen just kind of as standard. That's definitely a bit of a bugbear in Diablo 3, just having to Diablo 4, just having to spam potions. And we have our first item which is a sword, which we do not want with our Sorcerer. And we're pressing buttons that don't work. This is off to a great start. In terms of the challenge of the game, I think it's pitched at a really good level. I think for us casuals, because playing through it, I expect we'll die a few times, but not anywhere where we're going to get particularly hard stuck. So we now have Fireball. So we have fire and lightning. So we piss off the RSPCA and melt a bear in the wild. Not supposed to do that these days. I haven't looked up a build guide, so I have absolutely no idea what we're doing, so we're going to have to try and figure it out as we go, which is kind of part of the fun. Not going to set up a loot filter. Maybe as I play more, because this is like my first reactions playthrough. I'm going to play the game, of course, on a separate character. We're going to do these episodes about an hour long each, I think, and I'll play through a few other separate characters, so my game knowledge will increase as we go. I'm hoping to. I want to play through all the classes and all the subclasses. So I mean, that's like quite a big project. It is certainly fun selecting your little subclass once you get to the relevant part of the campaign, and they have all got a unique identity, which is really nice. And of course, the hope is that there's going to be lots of diverse builds at the end of this, so that instead of just having to play the single meta build, that there are things for us to do. The bodies are burnt beyond recognition. They were fleeing. Okay. Sounds like somebody's been very naughty. So we're gonna have to melt them with fireball. Were they attacking each other? That was cool. Fight through the Osprix forces. You get your little what to do here on the right. Unlike D4, we do actually get a good indication of where stuff is. Now, I've got a sneak feeling this Sorcerer might be a little weak to begin with, because I'm guessing it's probably not the most toughest class. I've played through Paladin and Void Knight and the Sentinel class, basically. Alright, so we have a ring. One ring to rule them all. What does it do? It does nothing. Gives us a bit of dodge rating. Okay. Right, so we have got our first passive point. The passive system is so cool in this game. We've got our Mage, which is the base class. We have to put, I think, at least 20 points into this. And then we can move on to Sorcerer, Rune Master, or Spellblade. We're going to go Sorcerer, but I think all three of these subclasses for this are pretty good. So what have we got? We've got Scholar, Health and Mana, which would be handy. We can do increased fire damage, cold damage, lightning, so Elementalist, elemental damage. I like the way that presumably we can swap between whatever skill we want. And then int, fire, and res. Let's just go for damage. I tend to think pump damage, unless you absolutely have to.
It was my mistake. They were cornered. And I can handle Osprix. I told them to stay back, to let me... What good are we if we can't? Sorry. I just met you and... It's been a long... Are you also here for the peace talks? Good. Because so am I. Name's Grail. Since we're both headed the same direction, why don't we go together? I wonder, which of us will take down more Osprix? Come, let me watch you fight.
Okay, Grail, let's go. Now, I'm hoping we can use this guy as a bit of a meat shield. Oh, we've got another skill, Snap Freeze. Okay, so that's going to be a defensive one, isn't it? Freeze enemies in a cone in front of you. So I'll have to have a little look at that. A little bit like Frost Nova in Diablo 3. Let's try it on this guy. Oh, yes, frozen. Lengthy cooldown, though.
Smoke.
So I wonder whether we have to pick an element to roll with. Ooh, +3 damage. +3 spell damage. So these are spells, I think. Yeah, so we get the little scaling tag at the bottom, which is great, tells you what to do. So, more damage. Yes, please. Okay, so that is definitely a frontal cone freeze. Little shrine here, 200% stun chance. He's that guy. The combat's quite nice actually. In just like an initial jump in. A little dagger, we don't want that. We want caster stuff, I think. And we need to fight our way through the burning forest. Ooh. Didn't get the freeze off on that guy. Now, provided the game's fun to play, then I think there's potentially quite a lot you can do with the classes, with there being so many subclasses to go through, so many different like passive options and choices. There really is like a lot that you can do. We've reached level 4. We get a skill specialization. Let's pump more damage in there. We'll just keep going damage until we start dying. We have a skill specialization. This is one of the most really cool things about this game. Is that we basically get to pick a skill and then level it up and build upon it. I think we'll do Fireball because it seems like a ranged attack. That seems like quite a good thing. Speed and range. So the way this works is we invest points as we go, and we can kind of work our way along to maybe some of the bigger nodes at the end. We can make it into a plasma ball. That sounds kind of cool. We've got some other ones. Trigger several fireballs around them. I think that maybe turns it into an AoE. Maybe we'll go with that. But like all of these skills, each skill here has got its own unique individual tree, which is really nice. So we can do conflagration for some ignite chance. We can make it go faster. Fire resistance reductions, kind of cool. Fireball seeks targets. I like the sound of that. Homing. That makes it kind of lazy. Flame burst. Let's head down here. Let's just, as I say, we're not looking up a build guide. We're just gonna connect these two here. I think we'll go for the Seeker and we'll go for the Flame burst. We'll just see how that goes. We've also got an Elemental Nova now as well. This looks pretty cool. But you can respec your skills at any time. You can, yeah, the further you get on, you get more and more skills that you can customize like that, which is great. Really does make a little bit of a mockery of the Diablo 4 play your way, because this really is it. So we've got here a better wand, increased attack spell rate, -3 off the mana cost, 18% chance to ignite and hit. We're not hitting anything, so we might as well, there's no negative to that. And we can go health regen and mana, or minus damage. I think we'll try the health regen and mana, because that should allow us to spam out more stuff.
Where'd you learn to fight?
It's always fun finding items in new games to try and work out what they do. Now, I think to get to the end game content, we do actually have to get quite far, if not beat the campaign. I've reached the Monolith of Fate in the past. We're already pressing spacebar to try and avoid, which is not good. I like the percentage on the health. That's nice. That's a new addition. Just for the struggle with percentages.
Well done.
We'll grab the amulet for a bit of health. We can use a shield with a wand. Can we use it with a scepter? Yeah, we can. Okay, so we might be needing something. I'm presuming there's like a source or some form of offhand. We'll read this.
Have proven difficult to track, but my observations revealed the truth. Their camps are neither chosen nor abandoned on a whim. There's a pattern to how they scurry. I instructed my soldiers to investigate the abandoned camps. Invariably, they're near shrines devoted to the eldest of gods. Each one was as empty as the last. They're not guarding the ruins. They're traveling between them, over and over.
And here we go, we get to our first little camp base, I think. And even to get to like the main hub in Act 1, you have to kind of like you have to press a little bit further into it. We don't get it like immediately. It's not like D3 where you do the first mission and you're in Tristram. But there's lots of really cool systems. I think this has got real potential as a game. So here's our buddy.
Their leaders waiting up at the keepers have done well. This place isn't too different from home. A group tied closely with our goddess, Etera. They've been indebted to her. But why, we do not know. Even their name is... Well, what do they keep? Do they adhere to another god or just her? It's these mysteries that interest the Osprix. Whatever secrets the keepers hold, I'm sure Raye wants them. Now, we speak to the Keeper Council. Speaking of, I must head there now. Feel free to look around. I'll see you shortly.
Okay, so we are in the camp now. So we got our first waypoint, and we start to be able to get access to stash. So this is the map. We've got all the waypoints to unlock, and it basically gives us the little quest things. There are some side quests to do, which are important because we get some idle slots for those, which is going to be nice. Oh, look at the stash space, guys. Look at the stash space. I think this is more stash than there is in the entirety of Diablo 4 in just one tab. And we can buy them, which is great. Which is a definite big win for this game. I think we'll just press on, try and get as far as we can in our hour today.
I'm Lena, one of the Keeper's Council. One of two. There should be more of us here. They're gone. Balthus and I remain, and he's not here. As such, I must ask for your help. Balthus is busy checking on our sacred artifacts. We're protectors of Etera's history, and right now, they're in danger.
I have no idea if we pick different options, if this changes anything. Kind of don't think that it does.
We'll discuss it after our alliance. You are, and I'm sorry, but this is how it must be. Even now, the Osprix swarm all of our sacred vaults. I've already asked Grail to check one down in the mountains. There is another up north, where Balthus is. Could you make sure he's safe? There's word of do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll lend our aid to Heoboria's army.
Okay. We have a task. Let's go get it done. But I'm not sure how much time investment is needed to get to the end game. I'm hoping it's not like massive amounts. I have done it once, but it was a few years ago. So it's probably changed, and I certainly can't quite remember. I'm wondering if maybe we should go with the Nova, actually, because it looks a bit more AoE viable. But of course, we do get to invest in multiple skills. I don't think this is the kind of game where there's like a lot of one-button stuff to do. Grab that amulet. Is it any better? No, this is not. Let's just chuck it on the ground. There's a really good crafting system. Quite, I think, easy and intuitive to manage. Good trade system. Online multiplayer. There's lots really to like. I think there's a lot of hype in the ARPG community about this game, and I think quite rightly so, because it looks actually, instead of it being lip service that it's player driven and things done for players' convenience and play your own way and all this sort of stuff, I think actually this game is gonna deliver on that. I'm not gonna be speedrunning through this. I definitely have a little bit of ADHD. I have to kind of like kill every monster, I have to stop and look at every item. It's just how I have fun playing these games. But the most efficient thing is probably just whiz through all this. It's kind of fun that everyone's fighting each other, which is nice. We have ranked up our fireball in the bottom right corner. We've got another passive point. And I would say, from my experience recently and from way back when, building your own character is really nice because you get to make these decisions. So as we invest points in our mage passive, we move along here, and then we can unlock these skills at the bottom, which is nice. And then when we move on to the particular sub-selection of classes, again, there are unique skills for each subclass that we go. So quite a cool little system. So if you want to play mage and you want to use a certain skill, you might have to unlock the sorcerer. You might have to do the rune master. Belts plus 3 potion slots. Awesome. Oh, and we also have our fireball to level up. We need to put another point in here to connect. So I've got now 60% chance to burn. Get on fire, my dude. Parts of the game remind me a little bit of Torchlight. Some of these areas, this is kind of like bright and colourful, with some kind of wackier-ish enemies, I guess. But I think this is a bit of a dream of a game if you like really fiddling about with characters and having lots of choice. And we are struggling. Okay, we might need to put some points into health, into some defensive things. But there's all sorts of mechanics. You know, there's find extra potions. Life regen, I'm sure there's shields. I mean, it wouldn't be a filthy casual video if we didn't take a really stupid death at some point. Another nice thing early playing this class in particular is basically having enough mana, because didn't mean to click that. But a lot of the times with ARPGs, when you start, particularly D4 is really, really bad for this. Diablo 3 to an extent as well. You just run out of energy so fast, and that kind of sucks because you just feel like this is a bit rubbish. I can't really do anything. But yeah, I mean, there's so many skills, so many classes. This is looking like it's going to be an extremely fun adventure to play through. Now, whether the campaign's going to be strong enough to be interesting to play through, 20 plus times, I'm not sure. Not sure about that, but we will have to see. I know people do it for Path of Exile. I tend to get a little bit stuck on that game. I don't think I've made it past Act 3 ever. Again, that's probably on the to-do list. I need to brush up my general ARPG knowledge, because whilst I'm very comfortable with D3, and that is of course my main game and passion, I do feel like I probably need to branch out, because whilst I love D3 and it's going to reset every few months, which is going to be nice, we're going to have to find something else to do, because I enjoy making videos a lot, and I would like to make more content on more games, and that is going to basically involve me getting out of my comfort zone and playing a few things, I guess maybe that I find difficult, because that's certainly something that Diablo 4 obviously is not something I massively enjoy. I might just have to stick with it, because obviously it is Blizzard and it is Diablo universe. But D3 is just like a pair of nice slippers. You put them on, it's comfy, it's relaxing, you know what you're doing. So again, I'll probably need to set a few sort of stretch goals in that game and try and press myself on a little bit, rather than just getting to GR 120, 130 repeatedly whizzing over. We are nearly dead. Ooh, we can snack that health potion. Let's grab that. And another one. We could certainly do a better job of dodging. And I like that there is no dodge mechanic, as I'm not a fan of that in D4. Oh, first legendary. Interesting. Bleeding Heart, 29% less health regen. That does not sound good. but we do get 7.2% damage leached as health. You're inflicted with bleed when you cast a spell. Okay. Increased melee attack speed, increased throwing speed. So this doesn't look particularly useful for our build at all. We have got a dagger, which I don't think we want. We've got a set of gloves, so we'll grab those. We've got a shield. Do we use this? No health regen. We do get leech. We're inflicted with a bleed. So let's just stick it on. Does this put a bleed on us? Whenever we use a spell, we're going to be constantly bleeding. Interesting. Okay. That's why we didn't. That's got +3 potion spots. Okay, so we've got 3 potions now from our belt, which is cool. And I don't think we want the dagger. We don't need to be saving low-level items at the moment. So, waypoint unlocked. The map's kind of cool. There's a bit of a mad concept in this game where you bounce around timelines. So you can go to the same area but in different timelines. Oh my god! That item is terrible. Okay. So that is no good for us. That's quite funny. I thought that might happen. So, the negative effect of that, presumably, is, I guess not a problem if you're not making spells. Wow. We self-ripped immediately. That's quite funny. A good little clip, that. Idiot tries inappropriate legendary. Reads it, goes, I'm not sure about this, maybe it's bad. Then proceeds to kill himself. Well, I guess you learn from your mistakes, guys. What can I say? Right, is this a side quest? I think this might be a side quest to get some idle slots. And the idle system, it's a little bit like charms from D2, which is great. But you have your own inventory. Oh my god, we were getting wrecked. I like the way it tells you what kills you as well, because Path of Exile is nasty for that. So we got killed by an Elemental Nova from an Osprix warrior. Good job we're not doing hardcore. Right, maybe we'll put a little bit into our defense because we are getting slammed here. Lots of ranged enemies. We want to do the range, not you guys. And this is just how I play through games, guys. We'll pump damage when we can. If I think we're dying a little too easily, we'll pick a little bit of a defensive thing. Okay, we've got our first side quest. So we've got the pulsing icon here with the yellow. That's going to be the main quest line. And then this little door should give us our side quest. So let's go do that, because I think, from memory, that does start to give us the charms, which is kind of cool. This game is all about choice. If I could sum my experience of playing it for the 100 hours I have played it in the past, it's all about player choice in terms of like how you create your character, and also with the trade system, whether you enter into like kind of like Trade League from PoE, where you can swap things and there's like an auction house from way back when in Diablo 3, or you can basically do a more solo focused, better chances to find items. So again, you know, that's kind of nice. Balancing the solo and the group play is always difficult in ARPGs, because generally speaking, just, you know, group is just so much easier. Definitely an issue Diablo struggles with. Right, Fireball. So we can shred fire resistance, or more crit against ignited enemies. Well, we're moving down here because I think we want the Seeker one. I think we want to have a little play with that. So we're just going to have to put the 3 points in here. So fire res is going down. I mean, really, we could do with like a splash for it. But I think maybe the next skill we're going to do is the Nova. We haven't really been using the Lightning. For all intents and purposes, I guess that's probably kind of the same as doing the Fireball. Just with like a different like animation, I guess. We can maybe do with a defensive skill. Another one to get on. But as I say, completely inexperienced with this guy, so no real idea what I'm doing. But that's kind of what I want to test. I want to test how easy is this to just play through, as if you were a complete, ARPG idiot. Could you get this? Could you play through it? Can you do what you want to make it through, or do we need to be checking out max roll and updating guides and stuff like that? A couple of really cool features that we've got here. Source items will put stuff in like an order for us, which is nice. And then we've picked up a crafting material here. These little shards are what we use to do the crafting. We haven't unlocked it yet. We need to get a bit further into the game, but we can simply hit transfer and it'll take it out. So again, just love the convenience of it. Like, just fantastic features. And you can tell, I think, just from like the early stages of playing through, that this is a game that's been made with a lot of passion by people who are very passionate about this genre. This is going to sound like a bit of a shitty dig at D4, and I suppose, being honest, it probably is. It's made, I think, by actual players of ARPGs, not by just people who develop games and aren't very interested in playing them. Right, we've got... That guy looks nasty. We can freeze him though, so that's cool. Good to know. And he looks like he's got a rather large AoE fire attack. And I wonder if he's fire-based, if he comes with natural fire resist. My mind is now wondering, do we get a teleport as the sorcerer? I assume we must do. We must get a mobility skill. He's done, so armor shred, okay, that's nice. Everything has got forging potential, so 23 forging potential. We might pick that up, because, again, I'm not sure what's high in the early stages for forging. And all these shards, we want to gobble all these up. They're going to come in useful for later, if we want to do a little bit of early game crafting. Right. Okay. So we've sabotaged the siege golem. We need to return. I think that might be it. That might just simply be the first little main sub-quest thing. And again, convenience. The guy's here. He's not. We don't have to backtrack. No backtracking. How amazing is this? No backtracking. Oh no, we just got a passive point. So I think sometimes you get the idle slots and sometimes you get passives. Let's do damage again. And then we've reached the second phase of this. So we've got a skill Glacier, Ice Explosions. Okay, AoE, which is nice. When we drop below 70% health, we gain a base of ward. Wards like shield, 12-second cooldown. So that could be nice. And then every 3 seconds, your next elemental spell deals increased damage, has a chance to slow enemies on hit. So slow chance and increased damage. So that's like every 3 seconds, you get a big damage boost potentially. So interesting. And that little brain thing in the bottom corner is, I think, signifying that we've got another skill that we can check out. Let's grab this shrine. Stun one again. Sometimes there's ones, I think, that drop items. There's ones that drop gold, crit chance. There's one that actually gives the current D4 season theme for a bit. You get a pet, and it is arguably more useful than the D4 current season theme. I'm not sure why these bits aren't narrated. I would have thought they would have been. Especially given it's the main campaign of the storyline. But so far, I mean, it's early in the morning-ish UK. But so far no connection issues, which is nice. We're going to pump damage again. I think we're going to go for... I mean, this could be useful. Let's try 1 point in reactive ward, just to do a little bit of toughness, because I think that's kind of interesting. We don't have any more passive points, do we? No. Well, 0 unspent points. And I think we're going to pump just the general damage, because I think we may as well just do damage all the time rather than waiting every 4 seconds. I think there's like an automatic potion using thing as well. Like if you're on max potions, it sometimes seems to... It just says potion used. I'm not quite sure how that mechanic works, whether it just automatically tops you up for you. And we desperately need this homing on the fireball, because I'm lousy with aiming it. We've got this same forged soldier dude again, with his big flames. But yeah, lots of crafting to do in the game. Legendary, uniques, all sorts of stuff to find. So I'm kind of hoping that this is a game to fall in love with. Obviously, it's early days. You've got to play through the grind. I think really probably an ARPG for, I don't know, maybe 100 hours, couple of 100 hours to really get a feel for it. And whilst I did enjoy my time doing that in the past, obviously got to be honest. Obviously, it wasn't. I didn't stick with it. So we can use our transfer crafting materials. That will never cease to be cool. So pair of gloves. We're currently wearing minion damage ones, which obviously do nothing. So we may as well swap these for the health regen. Again, I'm not sure if it's worthwhile picking up any of this stuff really, because like 3 gold, I'm sure in the reality of things is going to be de minimis. A little bit more health on the belt, so we'll just get rid of that. We were keeping the wand for the forging potential, I think, weren't we? Let's just chuck away stuff. Again, the crafting seems to run only on shards, so it's not like D3 where you need to pick up white and yellow items for like breaking them down for crafting purposes. So the knockoff Deckard Cane needs protecting. So let's do it. Health potion. I think one of the end game modes, actually, this is reminding me, is like wave based. So I get just more and more enemies keep coming, which sounds like a fun mechanic. That's not something I tried. I think I did one of the dungeons when that first came out a couple of years ago. But again, lots to do. I mean, sometimes these games live and die, by the end game content. Because of course there will be blasters who will have played the game on release and will still be playing now just to try and get to the end the fastest. Because that's obviously important to them. How they get the rocks off. I'm more kind of interested in, is this game like, is it fun? Is it good for like 100, 200 hours of casual play? Are we going to get, good ladder / seasonal content? Is it going to be fun? Is the game going to, basically go down the Path of Exile route into just a complete, extremely complex mechanics on top of mechanics on top of mechanics, difficult to play through? Or is it going to be friendly enough for us average people? Move speed, brilliant. We'll take those. And I guess we pick up the shield because it's better than our current shield. So let's just chuck the old crap away.
That should hold them. First things first. Thank you. The Ospricks grow more trouble. That should hold them. First things first. Thank you. The Ospricks grow more troublesome by the day. We've reinforced our walls, supplied our men, and taken out dozens of them. Yet, they're still here. The howling monster circling the vault. Yes. So, I see you lack keeper's robes. I take it Lena sent you. Lovely. While your help has been appreciated, I have what you mean. I'm protecting the Epoch, of course. Here. It's a fortress, meant to keep unruly treasure hunters from locating the shards of the Epoch. Or at least it's supposed to. Drastic times. Did Lena not tell you? Huh. Well, tell you what. Let's get out of here first, and then I'll explain more. These peace talks are hardly worth it if you don't know why Orion is after us.
Okay, let's go. I mean, campaigns in ARPGs, I mean, Diablo 2 is something that I loved and could listen to the dialogue in that game and the music and all that stuff over and over again, but in general, they're not really my cup of tea a lot of the time. Right, we've got more damage. Let's pump that into Elementalist. And I think, did I see we just unlocked the new skill, Flame Ward. Grants a burst of 400 wood, so that's like a shield. Then for 3 seconds, hits deal 30% less damage and cause retaliatory burst of flames. Okay, that sounds nice. We're going to put that on. We do that down here, don't we? So we're going to put that there. I think... I'm trying to work out how to... Do I want that on A? Yeah, we'll do it on A. That is now our oh shit button. Let's give it a try. So, I'm guessing cooldown reduction is going to be good. Ooh, increased fire damage. That's going to work, isn't it? That's going to work really good. And cast speed, because we are doing fire. So we're losing 2 spell damage, but I'm hoping 17% fire is going to be better. Albeit it means we do less damage on our other spells. Did we put the move speed boots on? We did. I think we'll stick with move speed. Get through the campaign. Nice and zippy. Grab up the shards. Fire res helm. I'm not sure how important resistances are going to be. I think it's going to be like Path of Exile and Diablo 2, where they do actually count for a lot. But again, it's just like playing through these early stages with characters and finding things and sticking them in your stash so that you can then come back with another character later. Definitely something I enjoy. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to play different classes. I mean, what's the strat? Do we do 3 sorcerers and try and get all of the specialties unlocked for that? Do we do 1 of each class? I think that probably sounds the most exciting to me. So I'm keen to play some minion stuff. I'm hoping minions is good in the game. It's a hard thing to do in ARPG as well. And D4 is definitely lackluster in that regard. I'm keen to play like a range class, a bow class, like rogue type thing. Keen to play Holy Warrior, Paladin, Druid. You know, there's lots that looks fun. Rune Master looks fun. Falconer looks like a really unique class. So yeah, lots of exciting and interesting options. Lich, Void Knight, tons I think to do, which is great because you know, ultimately it's what you want. You want a choice to play through, because particularly if you are going to do the campaign, like, you know, each time there's a ladder, each time there's a season, you're wanting to play through things differently. Having the different choices, I think, is important. Because it means that you know, maybe you make 1 character a season, maybe you make 2, but it allows you to kind of bounce around, do different things, find out what playstyle you like, which animations you like looking at. Variety to spice it up. And the way the builds work in this game, you're not really like mega locked in. I don't think respecking it comes at a cost. There is a punishment to it, but I certainly think you can level one way with the build and then swap to something else. I still can't believe I killed myself with that bleeding amulet. That might be quite a funny little clip. Maybe we'll do that. How to kill yourself with your first legendary you've ever found. We still haven't got to that. I don't think the main kind of camp here. We've still got a little bit further to go.
Let me first check and make sure the Epoch's safe.
Well, there goes Deckard. I don't think either of these things are appropriate responses to that, but never mind. Again, not written this, not spoken this dialogue, which is again a little bit weird. I would have thought they'd polish that up and got it finished, but it's not the be all and end all. Maybe it'll come one day. Who knows? They've sold 1 million copies of this game, which is pretty nuts. Again, 24 forging potential. Again, I don't really know what's high for forging potential. But maybe we'll chuck a few things in the stash just in case. When I play through and make a separate mage subclass. Right, so where do we need to go? Back here. Yeah, overall, pretty fun experience to play through. You know, I mean, we died a couple of times, so that's kind of, you know, interesting difficulty. If you were doing hardcore, you'd have to restart. But it's not like an impossible difficulty. It's been, you know, fairly doable. So let's do a side quest as well. We might as well grab up this main quest line whilst we're here. Now, graphically,
Okay?
the game...
What happened? That must be Orion, an Osprey's general. What happened to the artifacts Balthus was protecting? That must be what they were after. We have to save Balthus. Their camp is not far. I'll have to organize a group. Are you sure? I could gather soldiers, have them come with you. You'll walk into an entire army of Osprey's. Stay safe, stay alive, and bring Balthus back.
Another passive point. We'll just pump damage again. Right, so what was I going to say? Graphically, I don't think the game is you know, like amazing. It's not, you know... It's one of those where I think D4 genuinely at points looks absolutely beautiful. Although the more and more I've played with that game, the more I do find it a little bit drab to look at. You know, it could certainly do, I think, with a little bit more, I don't know, maybe pop. This is bright and colourful, so I mean, in terms of the graphical style of things, I think if you enjoy Diablo 3, then this is going to be a, you know, again, a kind of similar-ish kind of vibe to it, I guess. We get to fight dinosaurs later, which is always, like as a kid, obsessed with dinosaurs, so that's always going to be something good. And something right above bum there. I just think we just keep pumping the damage, keep going with that until we have no more. We put up a yellow pair of gloves as well, so transfer the crafting mats, increase attack speed, cast speed, sorry, and void resistance. We get more mana, we get more armor. I think that's a swap. We'll put those on. I'm just gonna lash these things away because I don't think we want to be keeping crappy items. What is this? Ooh, we've got another skill. We've got our second skill we can do. Excellent. So let's have a little look at this. Flame Ward. So we can either, again, the choice here is great because we can either stick with fireballs being our main damage. We can invest in items that do fire damage and just go for complete fire build, or we can maybe try and build up the Elemental Nova and just go for basically all damage for lightning, cold, fire, and get an AoE skill going. We can do Flame Ward with it being a kind of defensive ability for us. We can do Snap Freeze. There's, we can pick any of these things, which is obviously nice. I think we will go with. I think we'll try and keep it a Fireball build for the moment, and then we will go with Flame Ward. So, I'm not interested too much in the retaliation of it. I think we're just going to keep it as a kind of defensive skill. We're not playing with anybody, so we don't want casting it on allies. Can gain an additional charge. That sounds interesting. So the way I'm looking at the skills just generally at the moment, because obviously there's so many to learn and do, I think what we're going to do is just kind of look at these big ends nodes and try and plump for whichever one we think sounds the best. Mana regen could be kind of nice. Absorbs all damage, so that could be cool. So I think I'm kind of interested in heading down here. Knockback, that could be nice. Use it as like a defensive, just get the hell off me kind of skill. That could be good. So I guess we're going here. We're basically getting points into Ward. What's this one? Ward granted. 150 no longer retaliates. That could be cool. Is there anything? There might be ways to increase duration. Like obviously you have to sit down and look at all these things and go through them, all of them. Less elemental damage taken. So that could be cool. Lots of options, which is nice. I do enjoy the way we get to like really choose how we want the skill to work, and it might well be that various different combinations of items and passives and all those things go together. Right, this is brilliant. Fire damage. So I mean, at this point we could make ourselves a loot filter if we're saying, right, we're going to build a fireball sorcerer, and then we can get it so that it pops up and highlights every time something drops with plus spell damage, plus fire damage, and that makes it a little faster and easier to kind of play through the items. But at the moment I'm just kind of enjoying looking at everything. I think we'll grab the waypoint just to get that activated. But I think this is kind of how I was initially building my last character that I made, which is Sentinel. Where there's a defensive ability that absorbs a lot of damage, and I just kind of invested in that to just have it there for when you're about to get clobbed, because there's a lot of like kind of telegraphed attacks from bosses. So it's kind of nice to be able to, when you know a big hit's coming, to be able to press the button and to get like a massive shield like this, and have it basically not clobber you for a load of health off or whatever. But this is quite engaging in terms of the combat. So we can, we've got our freeze, so we can use that tactically. We can use our ward shield tactically. Bit of ducking, bit of dodging, bit of diving, bit of weaving. And overall, a pretty fun experience so far. So we put the shield up, and I dare say that would have done a bunch of damage without it. But again, you're gonna have to play lots of different skills, test lots of different things out. It may well be that some of the skills just look really cool. That's always a consideration as a casual player. How cool do things look? So let's rank up our fireball again, and we're looking to do this Seeker one. So we're gonna shred a bit more fire resistance. And this monster's obviously got an aura. Some of them regen health, some of them respawn. You do get some interesting affixes on them. It's a little bit like D3 coming up against the elite enemies. They all do different things. I haven't come across much that's overly obnoxious. Like, one of the things that really annoys me in D4 is block damage mechanic. It is everywhere and it is annoying. 9% damage over time, so we are doing, let's see, what does this do? 5% move speed, 21 dodge rating. Let's keep the move speed, because that's always handy. Let's put that on. So damage over time, we are doing a little bit of a burn, so maybe that works. We've got some physical res, which is going to be handy. 18% increased elemental damage. Of course, fire is elemental, so that's going to give us more damage, which is nice. Yeah, okay, cool. What's this other thing? Minion damage does nothing for us, but maybe at some point we'll make a necromancer, so I will pop that in stash. That way, when I make him a necromancer, I can get a little bit more damage immediately. I think this is all looking like a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, this is the name of the game. We've got to be having fun whilst we're playing these things. And it may well be that the fun comes maybe not from doing the campaign over and over again. Maybe that will get a little tedious. There's enough density. It's not like, again, D4. Some of the bits of the campaign are just, there's just so little around. You just walking simulator. And so far, there's been a decent amount of enemies. But the fun, I think, will just be in character creation and building and leveling. And if that's a fun time to kind of like build your character out, then that will be good. Again, not sure about like early game loot pool, whether there are things you can find that would really affect your decisions. Like, you know, would there be an item that you find that's really good for, you know, lightning build, and then you find it and you go, okay, right, cool, this time, this ladder, this season, I'm going to play actually light. I was going to play fire. Ooh, another legendary. This is exciting. And it might be that you find these things and you go, well, actually, I want to do it. Right, so we definitely want to teleport in here. Our build. What have we got? What is this axe? Parthenon's Vow. Two-handed axe. Physical melee. Strength. Health gained on companion hit. Okay, so I'm thinking useful for druid. Increased companion revive range. Increased companion revive speed. Okay, so that is looking druidish-y to me. So not something we'd use with our mage, but still interesting. Items galore. Ooh, lovely. This is great. +1 to Elemental Nova. So that means that if we did stick the Nova in the skill slot, that we get an extra like plus to it. Plus skills in D2. D2R is just brilliant. It is less brilliant in D4 because whilst it's in there, it's just not impactful. It's like a little bit of extra damage, and that's it. Whereas in a game like this, plus to skills is going to be so impactful because all of these, you know, nodes potentially do something useful. Well, that wasn't great because we couldn't see the character. And here we go. +8 spell fire damage. Ooh, that could be interesting. And that looks decent as well. +1 to all attributes, health on kill, and melee damage. already constructing other characters. Right, so I think we'll do this quest, and we'll call that a day on episode 1 of Last Epoch. Definitely fun. I've had a interesting hour playing through this. Very excited to play some more. And maybe I'll make a druid and put that super godly early game axe to use. Don't know, it's tough. I do fancy me some necromancer though. Again, my rule at the moment, without wanting to do a loot filter or think about things in any real depth, is just pick up the yellow items, and I'll have a little look through them and sort them later. But certainly combat smooth enough, graphics definitely good enough. Interesting, you know, I feel like we've made some meaningful choices on our little mini characters even so far. Like we could have picked different things. We could have gone lightning. We could have picked different passives, all sorts of stuff. Oh, legendary wand. I mean, it could be something really good. I mean, we wouldn't know. It's a spoon. Legendary spoon. We can eat cereal like a boss now. What is this? 40% chance to ignite, chill, shock, bleed, slow, poison, and blind enemy on melee hit. The Alchemist's Ladle. 13% increased melee attack speed. Okay, that's really weird. I mean, interesting. We get plus spell damage whenever we hit. I don't know. I presume we only apply one of those things and not all of them. That could be an interesting item. I don't see us using it at the moment. But could be interesting. We'll max out the Elementalists. That is it. We've got Disintegrate. I bet that looks really cool. And I think I wanted to work in Teleport as well. But let's just go finish this quest. And I'll have a little look at the skills. And then be back for later. I'm hoping the servers hold for these few days whilst everybody plays the crap out of it. Again, early in the morning for me is going to be a good time to play because it's not going to be as busy. I think once America and EU are both online, that's when games tend to struggle. Okay, burnt to death. Excellent. Yeah, I think you can stack more than one burn on people. It's like they get this little indicator above to say that they are on fire. I'm guessing you can do that a couple of times. So who knows? Maybe let's put this ladle thing on and just see if we can run up to something and hit it. We've got Mana Strike, so we're now armed with our spoon. Rusty spoon. Wow, look at that. Okay, so it does apply multiple of them. That could be super OP. So already you found that, you know, we've been playing for like an hour. We've already found a really interesting, cool item that could completely change what we want to do with this character. That could be nuts. Look at him armed with a spoon, man. That is funny. But that guy got melted by all those effects. So I think this is like a little mini boss. So maybe this isn't the best idea to be screwing around with items and stuff. But we'll see. I mean, no fair. He gets a creature. Let's just try and. Is this doing anything? No, this doesn't look. Let's see if we sort. Ooh, don't stand in the fire. Should we swap back? Where was it? What were we using? Where's the wand? Was it this? It was that one, wasn't it? With the fire damage. Let's see if this does damage. No, that is looking like it's about a percent to hit either way. So maybe it's saying that we can stack a lot of these burns on him. I don't know if we can freeze him. I might have just missed then. That might have just been complete potato. But I'm guessing the burning with the automatic homing thing could be quite good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking bleed could be strong, because you can really stack it. Like on these bosses, you could really, you know, be at range, be over here, and then just lob the fireballs, try and hit your flame ward shield thing. And if there's ways of extending the bleed, so making them do more damage, that could be good. Melee fire damage. Again, I'm sure loads of that stuff might well be useful. Oh, let's do that. Life, a little bit of life and regen. Help us out. And we've rescued Deckard Cain.
The Epoch, the power. If Raya more than that, it now. Which, speaking of, let's head back. I must reach Lena at once.
Right. Okay. So that will do, guys. It's just been over an hour. Really enjoyed that. I'm going to go make another character and learn a lot more about this game. I hope you enjoyed the first hour of Filthy Casuals playthrough Last Epoch. Very excited for this game. Let's see where it goes. Take it easy, guys. Peace.